Hi, it's been a while since I made a video or even showed up on social media. And in the last few days, I started posting a little bit and just from what's on my heart. And what I was thinking about this morning that is so important to realize is that we get triggered. And I'm going to make this really personal and say, I am triggered right now. My nervous system is completely in turmoil, and I am noticing that when I get triggered, what happens in my body? I go into a place of panic. I have a lot of energy. Then there's anxiety. Sometimes I feel like I can't breathe. My heart is broken, and it's shattered, and it's memory, a memory of trauma from my own life. And then this ancestral memory, the memory from my past, from my parents and my grandparents and their parents and their parents, going back to many, many generations, that the story of marginalization, of feeling less than, of being victimized, of being scared, of not being able to have a right to express oneself. There's all those memories, and they're in our cells, and they come in through our DNA and through our birth mother, and through their mother. And so, just really feeling into the trauma that I'm experiencing, and I have been since the 7th of October. And then to witness the violence and noise and aggression and rhetoric that is happening in the world, the amount of hatred, the lack of kindness and compassion and care, the need to express oneself, but in that place of expressing oneself, there's an expression from a place of wounding. And what we don't realize is how much what we say and how we behave impacts others and causes a lot of pain and confusion and overwhelm. And and I'm feeling that so much in my body. And in the last couple of weeks, I've been so triggered, and I've been watching what happens, and I tend to isolate and go into quiet because I'm trying to make sense of all of it, and at the same time, I'm also not wanting to let it impact me to the extent that I cannot shine my light and be the incredible healer, teacher, wise woman that I am. And I'm thinking so much about how important it is for us to be conscious and aware of what we say in this world and how we behave, and how we have a responsibility. And social media is so full of divisive, aggressive, violent speech, where people respond to things in such a reactionary way. And I'm just, how do we do this? How do I, as a Jewish woman who is in my 60s and whose sole purpose and calling is to make a difference in the world, to work with people, to help them find their beautiful light, to heal their trauma, and to be integrated and strong and step into their knowing. How do I do that when I'm feeling so overwhelmed and threatened right now? And I've done so many videos speaking about the nervous system and how important it is to breathe, how important it is to go outside in nature and ground oneself and find ways to come into calm so that our sympathetic nervous system can come into play and rest and digest and rejuvenate and heal. And right now, it's not so easy. And the other thing is how do we still our mind and stop those images that we see that have such an impact that, even as I scroll, and I've been thinking recently about my Instagram account particularly, and it's changed what I'm watching and what I'm looking at. And so I've become much more discerning about what I allow into my space, because what also happens is that things get suggested and then you get an image, and so these images come, and they I remember when I was a child there was this advertising technique which is subliminal advertising, where you'd watch a movie at the movie house and they'd run slides through the movie and through the adverts, just these slides, and the concept was that it would create a thirst and you would go and have a Coca-Cola or whatever they were advertising. And that those subliminal messages, they have an impact on our nervous system, on our cells, on our thoughts. And it's such a, I think it's so difficult because we have to, well, I have to know what's going on in the world, because to be informed helps me to know how to respond and to choose to respond in a responsible way of aligned with my value system and what I believe in. But at the same time, how do I not get impacted and deal with my triggers? And I think that that's the most important thing is that when we get triggered, what do? So yesterday I got triggered, really, really triggered. And it was interesting because I think it was the cherry on the top. It wasn't a big thing that triggered me, but it was just a post from someone in a WhatsApp group that just triggered me. And it made me realize that I'm actually in trauma right now. And I did some things afterwards. I had a really good cry and I phoned a friend. And the thing with trauma and when we get triggered is important to have a mechanism set up so that we can find support and help when we're feeling this. So, I miss my love because he was my refuge, and I'd go lie in his arms and it would help me. So how do I show up in my life and deal with the triggers and not let this take over and impact me so that I can't do the work that I'm doing? So I think that what came up for me yesterday, after I had my cry, and I went and spoke to a friend and went into my garden and I watered my garden, which gives me so much joy, and catch rainbows, the sunlight in the water, and connect with my plants and feel my earth on the ground. And my cat Chloe always comes and hangs out with me in the garden, and so it's our quality time together, and all of those things helped me to calm my nervous system and bring it into a place of stillness and balance. And then I had a beautiful shower and I had a meaningful evening and I had an early night and I slept pretty well. And I woke up this morning needing to do this video, and just to say that right now I think everybody's triggered. There's a lot going on that's hard to wrap our heads around. The other thing that has helped me is that I'm studying. I'm going into the history, into the stories, to have a deeper understanding. Ideally, would love to be able to articulate and speak my truth, but that's not always possible when I'm emotionally triggered. And we all have different ways of how to speak and show up in our lives and share our truth and our wisdom. One of the things that's, I think, hard is that when one is trying to explain or express what one's going through, we get shut down or not heard or not listened to. And often when we are in an emotional charge and a trigger, we don't listen. And the first thing that to do is to listen to the self. So again, to get into the body, to do some deep breathing, to come into a place of listening, and then to say, like, what is going on for me now, right now? And then we can connect with the trauma and the trigger and the story, and look at what it is that's pushing our button. And so it's from this place of deep breaths that I needed to share with you today. And I hope that this message that I've shared and my video from my heart has an impact and it touches you. And wherever you are and whoever you are watching this, I send you so much love. I send you courage. I send you strength. And knowing that we are supported, we are held, and no matter what happens, we are not alone. Bless your heart.